There are three things that you need to know if you want to create effective, high-converting, and profitable Facebook ads. First, you need to nail message market match. Get this wrong, and it doesn't matter how smart or funny or creative your ads are, they're not going to work. Next is something called the 40-40-20 rule. Every great direct response marketer and advertising legend lives and dies by this rule. But don't worry if you've never heard of it before. Most people haven't, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how to use this with your Facebook ads. And third, you need to use something called the marketing rule of 7. And not just with your Facebook ads either, but with all of your advertising and marketing and everything you do from this day forward. Use it and profit. Don't use it and don't profit. That is a terrible catchphrase. So let me show you how it's done, starting with the ever-important message market match. Want to know the single biggest reason that most Facebook ads don't work? I can't see you right now, but I'm going to assume you're nodding your head yes. Well, my friend, the biggest reason that most Facebook ads don't work is not because they chose the wrong campaign objective or wrong placement or wrong budget or anything related to the actual setup of the Facebook ad campaign. Nope. The reason that most ads don't work is because they're saying the wrong things to the wrong people. Or in other words, the offer that they're making is either unrelated or unappealing. An unrelated message means that they're making an offer that people just don't really care about. Trying to sell something in a way that just doesn't resonate with the pains and problems and fears and frustrations of the market. This is often the result of spending too much time on the features and the actual tangible things that they're going to be getting, rather than on the benefits and the outcomes and all of the results and how their life's going to be better after they make a purchase. An unappealing message is simply a message that's packaged wrong, or in other words, it's boring. It doesn't do anything to try to catch someone's attention, and so they don't stop to read it, and if they do stop, well, they just don't care. What's that sound? Oh, that's the sound of your ad dollars getting flushed down the toilet. And so money is wasted putting these boring and uninteresting and irrelevant messages in front of people and then wondering why nobody's buying. Sounds harsh, I know. I don't like to be the bad guy here. But fortunately, there is a solution that comes in the form of message market match. And message market match is exactly what it sounds like. It means matching your message to your market. But obviously, there's a little more to it than that. Essentially, message market match, also commonly known as message to market match, is really just a way of making sure that you've done your homework and you've researched your target audience. You've figured out what their pains and their problems and their fears and their frustrations are, and how whatever it is that you're selling is well positioned to help solve that for them. Get it right, and people buy. Get it wrong, and they don't buy. And this is one of my favorite things about marketing and about advertising, and that it's a literal case study of human behavior. After all, people can say all of the things about how they think they are or how they would like to be, but at the end of the day, money talks. And what people choose to buy and how they spend their time are two of the most powerful indicators that really show what someone values. So if your ads aren't working and people aren't clicking on them or signing up or buying or anything like that, well, it's simply because they don't see the value in what you're offering. So it's your job as the marketer, as the advertiser, to try to show them that value. And the best way to do this isn't by shoving it down their throats, but rather to show them that you understand where they're coming from. You understand their problems, and you possibly have a solution they may be interested in. I wish I could remember who told me this quote, so I could give them due credit. But one of my favorite sayings is that customers don't buy when they understand. They buy when they feel understood. Okay, next I'm going to give you the secret sauce, and those special ingredients that really separates the amateurs from the pros when it comes to creating high-converting and profitable Facebook ads. The 40-40-20 rule shows the breakdown of the three main elements that are responsible for your ad success. 40% to your market, 40% to your offer, and 20% to your copy. So let me unpack those for you now. 40% of the success of your advertising campaign is going to come down to your market, your understanding of them, and your ability to identify and locate them, and make sure that you're putting the right message directly in front of them. Fortunately, Facebook's targeting options are pretty amazing, so the ability to find them and get right in front of them is, well, easier than ever. As for coming up with the right message, the right hook, the right angle, and the right irresistible offer. And how those all fit together? Well, that's where you're going to need to do a little bit of heavy lifting. The next 40% of this equation comes down to your offer. So what are you offering? And is it irresistible enough to get them to pay attention? Is it relevant enough that they're going to be interested and want to click, want to read more, ultimately want to buy? And the last 20% is your copy and your creative. This is essentially the words that you use, the images, the video, if you're running a video ad, all of the design and the way that you structure things as well as the words that you say. As a general rule, the more competitive your market is, the more persuasive and influential and more heavy-hitting your copy is going to need to be. But there is another thing you can do. No, must do if you want to turn your campaigns into real winners. And that is to leverage the power of the marketing rule of 7. First, some history. The marketing rule of 7 was first introduced by the movie industry back in the 1930s, when studio bosses discovered that it took around 7 touchpoints or interactions with a potential customer in order to get them to see a movie. This then became kind of a rule in marketing that if you wanted a product or service or business to succeed, you needed to make sure that your prospect heard your advertising message at least 7 times before expecting them to take any kind of action. And I like this rule for 2 reasons. First, because it resets someone's expectations when it comes to advertising. After all, one of the most frustrating, albeit completely understandable parts of advertising is when I hear a newbie advertiser complain about the results they're getting, or rather, the lack of results they're getting from their campaigns. But more often than not, and upon closer inspection, it's usually because they've only been running these ads for a couple days or only spent a few dollars on them. Now, do you know whose fault this is? I'll tell you. It's all those internet marketing hucksters from the early 2000s who oversold people on these get-rich-quick schemes and how they could make $1 million overnight with no work required. But that's not a real thing. In the real world, think of one other investment where you could put in $1 and get back 10 or 100 or 1,000 or more. I mean, people would look at you like you're crazy, but with advertising, these are possible. Not right away, not for everyone, but they do happen. But when you're first getting started, a little bit of patience and a little bit of understanding and maybe even a little bit of humility are going to go a long way, because advertising is a skill. A skill that can be learned, but a skill that's going to take a little bit of training and a little bit of time. Now, don't get me wrong, the purpose of advertising, of running ads, is 100% to make money. Otherwise, why are you doing this? But it's also important to approach this with a little bit of sensibility and common sense. Those are probably the same things. The second reason that I like the marketing rule of 7 so much is because it gives me a benchmark and kind of a guide that I can shoot for and plan for and bake right into my marketing strategy. This is why the best way to do Facebook advertising today is to run your ads and then follow up and 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 follow up. But do it in a way that doesn't break the bank. And fortunately, you can do it now easier than ever before. The first way is my absolute favorite, which is to run a Facebook ad that takes someone off Facebook and puts them onto your email list, where you can follow up with them again and again forever. The next way is still good though, and it involves running a Facebook ad and then creating a custom audience based on how somebody engaged or interacted with your previous ad. For example, you could create a video ad and then create a couple of custom audiences based on people that watch 25% or 50% or 75% of the aforementioned ad. You can then follow up with those people through a second ad, which is going to be more cost-effective because you're going to be advertising to a smaller audience. Not to mention a smaller audience means more opportunities at repetitions and touch points and building a deeper and more human connection. For your digital marketing, web development, and e-commerce needs, please visit us at www.zionike.net. Thank you for watching Zionike digital marketing videos. Please check our channel for other exciting and informative videos. Like, share, and subscribe for many more to come soon. Bye!